Hey yo, what's up? So in the same spot I've been like at least 10 times the last few days. And I was thinking about routine. I was literally walking my family's dogs because I don't want to do watch the house. And I was thinking about routine because I was thinking about just a lot of stuff that I've heard and a lot of stuff I've seen, and even just with dogs and stuff like that, that there's a certain amount of routine that just is kind of present in lives and like the lives of dogs and all that stuff. And it breeds for comfort and predictability and such and such. And I think a lot of times that it's really easy for us to want routine. Like I saw with my parents, with my mom and dad, they both would have a yellow like little sketch pad things, those little thing that have the papers that you kind of can go up like that, and you like write on it and you like rip the paper off or whatever. And they do a checklist of every day, they do stuff, and it makes sense. Like you're trying to get stuff during the day and whatever, stuff like that. The problem is that with that kind of stuff is it doesn't factor in the fact that we're in a world that's constantly changing, things happen that you don't expect, and all this stuff. And so it leads you usually to be stressed out and usually to be like, oh shoot, like whatever, out this, out there. Now I know there's a certain aspect of like needing to have it so you remember certain stuff and you're kind of aware of it, but I think a lot of times that people live their life with that kind of checklist in mind, or with that kind of thing, like where they're in a sense like micromanaging every aspect of their life and like every part of their days, whether it's week or weekend, whether you're on a holiday, whether you're on whatever. Like I remember when I go on holidays with my family, it's still to this day, like it's like they're like wake up like, early, and then you go do this thing, and then we're gonna do this thing, and then okay, what are you gonna do with that thing? You're gonna eat there, you're gonna do this, and then it's like okay, they crash, and then it's like okay, then you do another thing, and then another thing, and it's like whoa. Now, it's good to do stuff, and you should be doing stuff, but I think a lot of times that we get too caught up in having our like lives like okay, you do this, and then do this, and it's very a type A thing. Like there's a lot of people that do the complete opposite, and they do nothing, and there's negatives to both of them, but I think also there's a certain value to being okay with life not going a certain way, and life and being like adaptable to life. And that's why for me, like I got a combo with my dad. He was very chill, very calm, but he also had the notepads thing, so he was also kind of constantly whatever. And my mom, who's like very high energy, constant do like nonstop. So I got two of those people that have the yellow thing, the yellow checklist thing that they do like pretty much every day. One of them chill, one of them a lot more energetic. And so it was innate for me to have a certain aspect of trying to control, trying to like constantly be doing stuff. But like I think my dad part tapped in a little more than my mom part, at least in this aspect, because I'm like, I like to chill, and I also like to put myself in situations where I'm not doing the same stuff as I'm always doing. Because there's so much out there that you kind of lose, and when you try to make your life like really okay, you do this, that, this thing, this, that, this thing, this is it. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and if it works, it works, whatever. But what I'm saying is a lot of times it can make your life become a lot more stressful than it has to be, because you're trying to, you're pretty much trying in a sense to play God in this way. And obviously I know most people are not thinking this way, but it's like, if you really think about it, trying to control every second, if not like every hour of your life, and make it go a certain way, and it's like if something deviates that you get bothered by it, sounds like a little bit like playing God to me. And whenever I've tried to do it or whatever, life just is like, nope, we're not letting that one happen. We're not gonna, that's not how it's gonna go. It's so interesting, and I think a lot of times that it loses sight on how life operates. And however you believe about God, life, whatever, universe, life does not operate in a way where it's like, okay, so you're gonna control everything, and everything is gonna go the way you want, and then that's how it's gonna go. And you don't have to worry at all. It's gonna be like, hey, wait, you think this is what you want, but this is not what you really want. You actually need this, and you're gonna want it, but you're gonna have to go through a lot of SHIT to get to the fact of being aware of that. A lot of people don't even go through the stuff. They just get pissed off about how their life goes, and they live in resentment and are bitter. That's how it usually goes for most people, but I digress. But I think that there's something lost in the mix of trying to be in control, because what happens is eventually your life becomes so robotic and so predictable that you lose sight and you lose touch of that uniqueness and the stuff that makes you who you are, and your life becomes like 1984, like that kind of like thing, like where it's like you're kind of like whatever in line, you're just like, okay, I do this thing, and then I do that thing, and I do this thing, and I go to sleep, and then I do it again, and then I do it. Now, there are good things about routine, good aspects of it, but trying to make your life predictable and trying to make it routine as possible takes away a lot of the ability for life to be anything different and to grow. And that's the big thing, is growth. If you want to grow and change in life, a lot of times you got to be open to stuff. Now, I'm sure a lot of people out there are really productive and they're able to get a lot of stuff done and all that stuff, and that's great and all. And I think that's good, and it's something I struggle with. It's like, oh, I always have to be productive, whether it's weekday, weekend, morning, night, afternoon, or whatever. Like on your vacation, I still have to be productive and whatever. It's just the mental stuff. But I think that you lose sight of what could happen if you try and like segment your days and make it so whatever, and then fight anything against that, and you're like stressed about anything that doesn't operate within those things, parameters. So I think that a lot of times, I think you just got to be okay with there being openness to a day. I'm not gonna like whatever, like it's like you do you, but what I'm saying is that for me, a former control freak, anxiety to the brim type of guy, I've seen that, hey, I need to be okay with not knowing everything, and I gotta be bored sometimes, or I'm gonna, first of all, go insane. Second of all, distract myself with things that are gonna lead to me not dealing with stuff. Like, how do you deal with stuff if you're constantly busy? And also, you kind of are pigeonholing your life because we only know what we know, and so what you know at whatever time you're making these lists or creating these schedules is going to change as you grow, because you learn and you grow and you do things. So you got to factor in the fact of life changing and moving and stuff like that. Like, it's like thinking of life. It's like, I think a lot of times that when you like try and control a routine and stuff like that, you're thinking of life like as if it's like this, like it's a linear, like it's just straightforward kind of thing. When life is like this, and life does not operate like that, and so you could think it's going to go like this, and it goes like this, and whatever, and you can't be so land-ho about, oh, it has to be like this, because it's gonna happen, and it's like you're just alley-ooping yourself to just be stressed as hell for something that's gonna happen again. So you're gonna be stressed as hell again a few days or weeks in the future, and then again, and then again. So it's a never-ending cycle of stress. When it's really something that, to be honest, it only just takes like being okay with the fact that there's a certain aspect of, I don't know, that plays into life and makes life what it is. Like, why would you want to know everything when life is made fun by the fact that we don't know everything? Like, a lot of times, it's not like you wake up and at like whatever age, 15, 16, 17, 18, and you're like, wait, I'm gonna marry this person to do this thing. Now, I'm sure there's some things where there's, especially back when with arranged marriages and all stuff, and I'm not talking about that. And for the large majority of people, I feel like you just naturally meet someone and it just happens and you fall in love, or maybe you were in love and you break up and whatever. Things happen, things work out, things that don't, whatever. But I think that we kind of lose the ability to have circumstances like that in other aspects of our lives by the fact of trying to segment them. And I think we also lose our ability to be in situations like to meet someone that you never would have met if you were doing the normal stuff, because we're just only doing stuff that we know the expectation of. And it's like going to the same work that you've been at 5 years and magically thinking someone's going to appear and then you can fall in love. Also in the fact of it's tough to like have a workplace relationship, but I digress there. But I think that it's okay to have routine and all that stuff. Like, I'm not saying, oh, don't have routine, whatever. But what I'm saying is when you make that, like, in a sense, your God, and you're trying to control and you're trying to play this role where it's like you're trying to be like all knowing and like all controlling of your life, it's going to bite you in the ass no matter what you are or what you're doing. Because we can't control. Like, we only know what we know, and we go into this life like with the unpredictability like already baked in, because of the fact that the people that like are the parents, the grandparents, all that stuff, it's not like they were like, oh, we created this world and it's this and that third. Like, the world is something that we all just in a sense spawn onto and like become a thing that just lives in it, and we like kind of adapt as it comes. And I think that there's a beauty in that is taken away when you try to like make it like really robotic and really whatever. And I think it will lead to a lot more stress and anxiety when you try to do that as well. Because it seems like control and comfort seems like the thing that would make you less stressed out and stuff like that. But newsflash, it actually makes you worse. It makes you more stressed out, more whatever. Because when things happen that are against that, you're effed. And then if nothing happens against that, you're just going to become depressed. You're going to become like recluse. You're going to be just like feeling empty and all that stuff. So there's really a lose-lose when it comes to trying to control everything. Like, being honest here, routine is good. Being productive is good, but don't let it dictate your life, and don't let it like mess up your entire future by having it have to be a certain way. Like, let SHIT work itself out, and trust me, it'll all be okay one day. I love you, good bunch.